after campus, yeah, I went to work in MMG. I think it wasn't such a big job. IIM's hyped it up. IIMB hyped it up. It was an LBS job basically, and it was a lot of hard work to get that job because I was 23. Everyone else in LBS was 28, and it was one of the good jobs in LBS. But to make it out like the highest package in the history of the IIMs at that point is that there was a element of IIM competition also there. Because before exchange, I had spoken to Professor Krishna and I said I'm going to try and get a job in LBS. He said it won't happen. You're wasting your time. Afterwards, he said, this is great. We'll put it in the media and all that. But I don't think it was such a big achievement. It was just key one was lucky to be in LVS, and one really took it as in IIMs everyone is so smart, so bright, so technically proficient, but the system is a little bit immature. And where are the jobs? The jobs are there, but what is the quality? I had gone through the summer internship. I wasn't very impressed. Deutsche Bank put me in like Orga, which was an internal consulting division. Whereas in LBS, the best recruiters were coming, and the candidates couldn't hold a candle technically to the quality that we had in IIM. So I was just like, this is arbitrage, pay for the IIM degree and get placed from LBS. After that, the Insti made it the newspaper thing and all. MMG was nice. I was there for about a year, then they went bust. Then I went back to LBS again and I said, look, I opted out of IIM placements because you said you will get me a nice job. Now this company's gone bust, help me. So they again put me back in the placement website. This that they said use our facilities, use our campus. So this time I got into fund management. It was called Pioneer Investments, but it was not based in London. It was based in Dublin for tax reasons because Dublin has a 10% corporate tax rate in Ireland, and we were also paid on remittance basis of taxation. So you get paid in Jersey, and you only get taxed on what you remit into Ireland. So that was a great experience. I did that for almost a decade and some very, very good years.
Saurabh, can you? I always thought that you got the Mitchell Madison job from the IIM Bangalore campus. I didn't know that you got it through because did an exchange semester at
Yeah,
LBS and you got it through LBS.
I went to LBS. I went with Hemant. I used to, and I was just shocked. Like, I mean, they had work ex. Technically, they didn't know anything compared to IIM. IIM was full of geniuses compared to LBS. So I started going through the placements they allowed me. Every interview I was getting, I was going in. Then after that, they were putting me on the analyst program because I was young and I was a bit raw also. LBS average age was 28. So that was just heartbreaking. So one day I was sitting in Regent's Park, I was crying into the lake. This Indian guy from the batch, Debu Priyapurkayas, he came. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, I'm just not cracking the interviews. For me, the holy grail at that point was I just want a job which is the same job that the LBS people are getting. So he trained me. He showed me, you got to have a certain amount of gravitas in the interviews. So serious होना पड़ेगा. Sirf technicals is not enough. Then with all his training, yeah, the job started coming. So
How was your experience at MMG? Like the company closed down within 1 year, and also LBS में. So I want to understand from you two things. एक कि मीडिया ने बोला कि 140,000 pounds का जॉब है. थोड़ा मुझे लगता है कि मीडिया बढ़ा चढ़ा के भी बोलता था.
नहीं
So
नहीं
what was the actual job?
media said 100,000 pounds. They didn't say
अच्छा
140. They said 100.
अच्छा
So the base salary was about 65,000 pounds. There was a 15,000 pound sign on bonus. The
अच्छा.
minute I got that in hand. The first thing I did is went to the bank and transferred it to my dad because at that time there were loans in the business and all that. So yeah, I also wanted to help him to whatever extent. Then there
Mhm.
was performance bonuses and all that. So yeah, all inclusive. Even if it wasn't 100, it was 1995 जो भी है. So
Okay.
it was not 140, but it was not a great exaggeration.
Okay.
What was the exaggeration is that all the media should have said is that the guy got a job from LBS, rather than
Hmm.
best package ever. This that that was the competition amongst the IIMs, the
Hmm.
one-upmanship. all that.
So how was working for Mitchell Madison? How was it? कि एक साल में जब कंपनी बंद हो गई तो what did you go through? How what was the experience like?
I just, at that stage, we had all come from, it was a difficult India that come from at that point. And I'd seen my dad struggle a lot in the business and he had some loans and all. So at that stage, my only priority was Bhaiya, make as much money as possible and send it back to him so that he can repay the loans and, be proud of his son. So every month when I used to get my salary, I mean, what work I was doing, I have no idea. I don't think I'd ever make it as a consultant. I don't have the structured thinking of a consultant. But every month I'd get my salary. First thing I'd do is I'd go and transfer 66%, 67% straight to India. And on the rest, I'd survive somehow. So yeah, it was very lucrative. But we had all come from a different India. It was not today's India. We had all come from an India where we had seen struggle, we had seen our parents struggle. So for me, going to London, this I was just like, just send back as much money as you can, and that I was quite grateful for. That in the first year, yeah, I could send back quite a bit. And in terms of learning and all, consulting never had my heart. So I had a few projects. There was a project with Deutsche Bank. There was another project where the Saudis were saying that we're running out of oil, so let's start farming potatoes. They were flying in consultants to help them understand which part of the country they can farm potatoes, etc. It was very exciting. We had come from an India which hadn't been that open. It was just the concept of working in London was very exciting. Everything was so organized and all that. At that point, 23 years ago, it was quite an adventure. I didn't have the money for fun because I was sending most of my salary to my dad. So I was actually living in a council. I had an LBS job. I was living in a council estate in Pimlico because I just wanted to send money to India. For me, it was like, London looked like the land of milk and honey. That there's so much money here, so let's do some good with it. Then after MMG, I went back to LBS. I told them, this is the problem. MMG is no longer there. So they opened their recruitment portal to me. They gave me access to the campus. They gave me a card. They were very good that way, very generous. And then I got Pioneer. And there, yeah, that I really enjoyed. Trading, fund management, equities. I mean, that was something that was really close to my heart. Really, really was.
Okay, so I think you are more of a equity trading analysis instead of a consultant like that.
Yes, because consulting, you're just, you're making presentations. You're not taking responsibility for the output, as in, and there's a lot of focus on, you got to cross the T's, dot the I's, etc. when you're making the presentation. So we used to be sitting in the graphics department till 10:30 at night if there's a presentation the next day. Fund management was more, direct. You do the homework, you make the presentation to the investment committee, make the investment. Maybe for a year and a half, it won't work out. It'll work out after that, maybe spectacularly. And don't hug the benchmark, beat it by as much as you can. That job I really enjoyed. Really. I mean, that was just fantastic. From day one, I was investing actual money. From day one. So what they had a sector focus that very research driven, and you get your sectors. I started off with commercial services, which was Staffers, Michael Page, Hayes, this that, security companies, Securitas. So that was a small sector, and there was a company called Corporate Express that I invested in. Everyone was like, it's going bankrupt in the 2002 crash, before the 2003 recovery. उसमें बहुत homework किया, spoke to the investor relations, went to Amsterdam and visited them numerous times. It's always nice to travel around a bit, and came to the conclusion that 2 years of double-digit declines, number of white-collar workers in the European workforce, still this company doesn't go bankrupt. So the CIO came, everyone was panicking, markets are going to zero. Experienced investors had started selling off their shares. I doubled up. When I doubled up, and then when the market turned, so I beat the benchmark by 53% in a year, which they'd never seen before. because so they gave me all that best performing analyst worldwide, and I told them make me VP. I was 27, 28. They said, yeah, okay, be VP. Really had a great time, and then since then the reputation was also cemented that he knows what he's doing. Then they gave me tech, which was a much bigger sector, European tech, not US tech. So that also 1 year it took to understand tech. Next year, then beat all the benchmarks, double digits. So again, all that best performing worldwide is that. It was nice. It was a great time. Enjoyed the success. Enjoyed everything. Then I fell in love.